Peace, y'all. Welcome back. Running around a yard out here. Today's the 8th, I believe, of November. Right? Friday the 8th. We were going to try to get Bray out to Fremont again tomorrow. But they have a race there, I guess. We don't want to get him involved in that just yet. So we'll see. We won't drain the oil out of the cart just yet or get it put away just yet. We might still get a decent day before, it gets too cold. And then we'll go ahead and get it on the upright stand and get it put away. But out here today, a little everything, man. I'm got the bait, prevent a mouse. When we had the guys come out, we have bats as well. Believe it or not, bats only give birth once a year. They're not like bunnies, thank God. I think we've only got 2, maybe 3. I can hear them moving around up in there between 9:30 and 10 a.m. Now that it's getting colder, not so much, but we need to get the house sealed from the outside so there's no way for them to get in. Then they put in a one-way door. The bats leave, I guess, then they can't get back in, and you're all set. You can't kill them. You're not allowed to kill them. But you don't want them. The last thing you want is them getting into your house, inside the house. So it's got to be done in a way where they're free to go. If you seal everything up and there's no way for them to get out, they'll get into your house trying to get out. They will literally, what the guy told me is they'll literally eat through your walls if they have to get into the house and then outdoors. So just doing a little maintenance out here, refilling the bait in the, I got 6 or 7 of these, one at the back of the garage. That one got hit pretty hard. This one not so much. This one kind of not so much. I mean, a little bit, little here and there. I'll walk you around. Got some tuck pointing to do here. It's not really all that bad. It's not as bad as the other stuff was, so we didn't get to it yet. Eventually gonna cut these trees down. Got this gas thing to deal with. Was losing some shingles up here. Up there, as you can see, they're a little, just on this end here, you can see they're a little wavy. What I noticed is we had brother-in-law Joe, the old roofer, over here. He's a UPS driver now, but he used to be a roofer. I told him there's no vents in any of this soffit here. On here, but nothing here. So he's going to pop holes and put little vents in the soffit. We're going to get him and his buddy over here in the spring. He fixed it up, but we'll have them do at least this bit here. The other side from this looks really good. I mean, the rest of it looks really good. Got a little stuff going on, but he said that peak, the cap vent is for shit. So, excuse my French. So he said, you need real vents. I said, then put real vents in, whatever it takes. Again, I said, vents won't let the bats get in and out. He said, no. So he's going to, unlike a roofing company, he'll do sections at a time, right? Just to keep the cost down, because most of the roof is in really good shape. That we didn't really notice anything here until we had the aftermath of those 2 hurricanes, right? We had some high wind here. We have about 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts, but he said whoever nailed those things up, he showed me. I mean, I took the old pieces down and I bought a couple bundles of shingles and let him fix it up. And he said they put the nails in the wrong spot, Robert, and they just pulled right through. They had put them in a spot where it's only 1 layer of asphalt shingle instead of 2. Right where the little tar spots are is where you're supposed to put the nails, and they were much further above there. So, as you can see, I'm having a little problem. I got my new teeth. I'm in some pain, man. They had to pull those 4 teeth out and fit this thing in the other day. Today's Friday. That was Wednesday. So this one here, this one got hit it was pretty busy. They ate a bunch of the poison in here. This one a little bit, but kind of like the ones on the other side. A little bit, but not much. This one back here got hit really good too. So they were chowing down. So we've got some China land things to deal with other than the trees as well. only one guy, man, you know, and I'm doing what I can at this point. Gonna bring you inside. So this would be a China Land, China Shop RPM kind of update, all around update, right? That's what I'll call it, the RPM all around update. In we go. Blue Demon still not back yet, but aha! We got the Renspeed out of the back room, got it off the upright stand. We got our tubes from Margay. Nice, because they fit nicely. They're already notched and everything. Came with a bolt kit. You know, the price online is like 36 or 39. I thought, okay, you know, they're 10 bucks a piece, no big deal. Then bam, they hit you for almost 25 bucks in shipping. And it makes this a complete mess. I mean, it's got to stop, folks. It's got to stop. The overpricing of all this stuff, just ridiculous. You used to be able to buy from Mondo Kart in Italy, uninsured shipping anywhere around the world was €6.99, €6.99, about 10 bucks. Now it's $29.99 and it's still not insured. You do the math. What is it, like a 500% markup? Just ridiculous, man. And they're selling a boatload of stuff over there. It isn't jet fuel. Did jet fuel go up? Did Joe Biden have his hand in that too? Thank God that guy's going to be out on his ass. Hopefully, I hope and pray that all this kind of turns around. You know how it is. Fiberglass material. Not the glass material, the matting itself, but resins, plastic, epoxies, polyurethanes, and polyester, vinyl ester resins and stuff have gone through the roof. They say it's because it's oil-based, right? It's petroleum-based. Gas goes up and comes down. Fiberglass plastics go up, up, up. They never, ever come back down. So I'm hoping this shipping thing gets better. I hope all of it gets better. Would have been nice if Fruitcake Joe Biden would have done it, but some people you just can't trust, period, to do the right damn thing because they've got somebody else's best interest in mind, not yours and mine. So back to the cart. This weekend I'll clean up a nice spot, get all the material off the chassis like we did here. I don't think we're going to go exactly, well, that's not too close, I guess. We can adjust the pods on the Nerf itself, as you see here. We're about as far forward as we can go on this raised section of plastic, right? This bit here. We're about as far forward as we can go, and we don't want to be any further away than that. I think that's good enough. It's up a little higher than I'd like, but that's all good. At least they won't drag the ground. Yeah, Bob, it's a fashion show, even though it's the Renspeed. We spent a fair bit of money on this thing too. This stuff here, remember, wasn't cheap. So, you know, we got new rear axle from the Blue Demon before we updated to 50. Brand new 40 millimeter axle, bearings, wild cart cassettes and stuff. That whole thing is going to drop right on here. If the rotor's the same diameter, it'll be a direct replacement. This one here is butched. As you can see, the gear spun around there, tore the axle up pretty good. So off with the crap. Once we get these welded on and we're happy, we'll go ahead and tear everything off all the way just down to the tubes, and we'll strip it down. If we have to do like we did here and use the abrasive scotchy, the hard scotchies with the 90 and sand it all off, then that's what we'll do. Got our contact back with QC Coatings. They're over by the old shop, the old what is it? What did they call that place? Cryogenic. We used to make cryogenic chambers for universities and clinics and all kinds of stuff where they would It's either some of them are filled with liquid nitrogen, some of them the walls are filled with liquid nitrogen, so it doesn't touch the liquid, the samples that these places were putting in there. But we built all those things, and I did all the fiberglass housings and tops and stuff for the electronics because you can't just boom freeze it. It's got to be brought down to freezing, kept at freezing, brought up from freezing, so you can utilize those samples. And so when I was working there, this coatings place was right across the street. Lo and behold, a guy Rich works with, Joe, is buddies with the guy that owns the place, but that didn't do us any good. Just talked to Johnny West this morning. Hey, John, how's it going, buddy? He's taken a couple Anderson chassis to a friend in town to have them powder coated, and he got a better deal than I did. He said the guy told him $200 a piece, which is where I thought, you know, it wouldn't be any more than that. So had a little problem getting them delivered. I guess they're done, but the guy wanted more money, and you know, John, when you start talking about money, and rightfully so, somebody gives you a price, and then all of a sudden they want more for no apparent reason, and then they won't answer your calls to talk to you about it. You get a little irate. But the guy we talked to, he wanted $300 per cart to blast, prep, and color them, and that's $600, just too much money. The Blue Demon's in pretty good shape. The black stuff, and where we updated in the back, we hit it with that barbecue paint, remember, and washing, you know, wiping it over with a rag after it's good and dry. You couldn't even tell. You couldn't tell where I painted it and where was the original color. So even if we didn't do that one, but we went ahead and did this one, another $300 on this go-kart just kills me, man. So I think I'm going to end up painting it. We'll see. We'll have to feel it out and see how it goes. Really don't want to paint, and powder coating we take somewhere and get it done. We bring it back and we can start putting this thing together, right? So again, this is another one where we've got 90% of what we need, 99% of what we need, right? It's just a matter of getting it all put back together. But it is what it is. And of course, for Sean, our buddy Sean, the Sean Moore man, Sean Swiss, Dave Aarons, all the guys I ragged on back in June at Grattan about the seat struts and why are you running them if you've never run your kart without them. Larry and many people have driven this go-kart, and it never had seat struts on it, never. So I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to run our karts with no seat struts, and if we feel like it's lacking or it's doing something that's incomprehensible that we can't deal with, then we'll throw them on to see if it makes any difference. But I'm one of those people, right? My dad was from Kansas City. Missouri is the show me state, MFer. That's right. That's right. You got to show me. You got to show me why things are doing what they're doing. I have never, ever, as long as most of you have known me, I've never been a person to just do what everybody else is doing. If everybody was on a Pavese and the next bit of people were on a TM, what did I do? I went and found a Vortex. I'm not going to do what anybody else is doing, right? So that's just how I do things. I go looking for a different way of doing things just to find my own way. And over the years, it's what's kept me involved and kept me interested in it all. So there's nothing wrong with doing stuff your own way and trying to figure it out. Engineering is an exercise not just for your hands, but for your brain as well. So sometimes, say the water cooling situation, that deal took 5 years, and yeah, we were bouncing our head off a wall there for a while, but we finally figured it out. That's it. We'll get working on this. We'll get these things welded on, and hopefully strip this thing down, and by the end of the weekend have all the yellow off, and have it ready to do whatever it is we're going to do, and then we'll bring you some more. I know this much: before we do anything with recoating it, we're going to have to move the seat strut, at least this one, and make room for a jumbo seat. Even though I probably won't spend a lot of time running this car, I'm going to want to drive it to shake it down. And if mine breaks down, I'm going to want to have something to ride. So got to make sure we have enough room to get the big jumbo seat in. We'll use the NEK seat as a mock-up for this one here, and then we'll get another one of those seats. I'd really like to take a mold off that seat so we can make our own, man. That would be cool, because we can always cut them in half and make them smaller, right? And bond them back together instead of, you know, having to spend $400 on a second seat. So that's it for the 8th, man. Little all-around RPM update. We're going to get going on her, Larry. We're going to get going on her, buddy. Now bring it for you. Godspeed. I'm praying for you, Larry. Hang in there. The rest of you, too. It'll get better.